Family, guess what? We back, Jack. Part 2 on you. You did. The storm tried to take us off, but we gonna get the information that we need to get. We're in the preliminary hearing. There was some DNA evidence linking NaZiyah to the crime scene that I had missed. So what we're doing now, we're just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Because the trial is about to resume in October, and I hope everybody's responsible. Everybody who's responsible. I hope all y'all asses be in the jail. Straight up. And I want you to add me to y'all visitor list. Please. You dig? I want to be a pen pal to one of y'all motherfuckers so bad. You dig? For real. Because the shit I'm going to write is going to have me right in there with you. And that's where I want to be. I want to choke the fuck out of some of y'all. Look at his ass.
Now, is it the program that determines the statistical number, the probability?
Acting like he read notes.
How is that determined?
I determine how many individuals are in the sample, and then the software determines that likelihood ratio.
Okay. Because you're only receiving swabs or cuttings, you don't actually see pictures of what the items are that the stains came from or the swabs came from. Is that fair to say? Or do you?
They are in the case file. I did see them in this case. So sometimes I'll look at them, and sometimes I'll just write the report unless there's a need to see them. They're not always provided. But.
Do those pictures indicate to you where the different samples might have been taken from, or the swabs may have been taken from?
Yes, the pictures in this case were taken by the previous analyst that provided the samples to me. So she would have actually examined the evidence itself, took the pictures, as well as where any swabs or cuttings.
There was a lot of chains of custody, y'all. Y'all noticing that too? Like, it was a lot of chains of custody. Like, I mean, tomorrow we're going to definitely get into the shoes and all of that stuff like that. But it went through many hands. And I don't really think that they collected evidence the way. Because if that man saying that he pulled them clothes out of the shrub, there's no way that little boy should have been able to stumble across that scene. It's just no fucking way. It's none.
Were taken.
So the previous analyst would be...
And it was laid out like the detective said he laid it out. So,
in general, is that fair to say? Like saliva, blood, semen, stuff like that? She's the one that's making that determination?
Yes, she would do any body fluid testing, such as blood, semen, saliva, and then any swabs for skin cells.
Okay. DNA can degrade over time, fair to say?
Over time, and in certain conditions, sure.
Weather, stuff like that.
Potentially as sunlight can degrade DNA.
The elements in general, bacteria.
Yes.
Okay. And so when it degrades, does that mean that the DNA molecule itself is breaking down?
Yes, it's degrading, yeah.
And what is the impact of that on a DNA test?
It could just be lower than it would have been. So there's still a profile, it's just lower. And we also see a very specific pattern when something is degraded, where it, instead of peaks kind of being nice and straight, they kind of ski slope off. So we can identify it.
Okay. Could it mean that you get an incomplete or a partial profile?
Sure, yeah.
Was that a factor at all in any of the swabs that you tested in this case?
I didn't see any very specific, that pattern that I was talking about. I didn't see that. Some of the samples are lower, so they may have been possibly, if they were in the elements, degraded or diluted.
Okay. So you mentioned that when you're looking at a profile, if you see a Y chromosome, that indicates to you that there's a male contributor to that sample.
Correct.
And try to say this in the least amount of words possible. And so if you have a mixed sample, you would you can do, or one of the ways to determine the male profile would be to use a Y-STR, Y-STR analysis. Is that correct?
Yes, we do offer testing that specifically looks at only that Y chromosome in our lab, and I don't perform that testing personally.
Somebody else would perform that?
Yeah, so when we need it, they will perform it, yes.
And what would indicate, or what would determine when that would be needed?
Generally, it's in samples where it's a mixture usually from a female, let's say a body swab, and there's so much of her DNA, it's overwhelming the small amount of male DNA present. So they can do this testing to only look at that Y chromosome so that that large amount of female DNA kind of isn't in the way.
And so this would be done for something like skin cells or saliva or some DNA, some genetic material that's not specific to males. Is that correct?
What?
Like you wouldn't need to do that kind of a test on semen or something that's only going to come from a male.
It's any sample where there's just an over,
Lady, she's saying it in layman terms. They'll do that testing if it was just more of a DNA sample. So to isolate just the Y one, they would move all that other stuff. She get on my nerve because I'm trying to understand right now how the evidence is linking her to the scene. And where's the scene? Do anybody know where the scene at?
a large amount of female DNA, but a very small amount of male DNA is generally when we use the testing.
Okay. Would you use it if there were multiple suspected male contributors?
I don't want to speak to that test.
No, this not the new trial yet. No.
Okay.
We looking at some from the preliminary hearing that I missed. So we're looking at the DNA evidence and things like that. I had missed like 7 people testimonies, and somebody called it out and said I missed some. So the ones that I missed, that's what we're doing right now.
Is it possible to use that, or would that be helpful in general?
I have no idea.
Okay. You're not familiar with?
No, I mean, I have the basic understanding, but since I don't actually perform it and I'm not trained in it, I don't want to speak to it.
Okay. Is it the Y chromosome DNA, is that passed down to male offspring?
But the male profile, so you're talking about the Y-STR profile, it would be the same?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. From a father to a son?
Correct.
Okay.
Ooh.
And that's the Y-STR DNA, right?
I know they trying
short
to do.
tandem repeat.
Correct, yes.
And see, that's the part that's the part that's so crazy when it comes down to the clothing, because they're trying to determine her being unalive from her not being present on social media, her having no activity that belongs to her, and then this evidence that contains her evidence in her DNA and Jarvis, but we all know that they had a physical sexual relationship. So his DNA being present on a hoodie wouldn't be far-fetched. Now with this lady, now is making sense on what she's trying to allude to. She's trying to say, is there any kind of way that the DNA that y'all got deemed Av Jarvis's, could it belong to his son? You know what I'm saying? Which we know that Shannon got 3 other boys of his that stays in the house, to where, you know what I'm saying, it's easy that NaZiyah could have came into contact with any of them. You know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to allude to. So I can't wait to the trial, because they got to have more than just this. There's no way.
And so you could have a similar Y-STR profile between a father and a son, because that chromosome is being passed down almost completely unchanged. Is that fair to say? Or is it correct scientifically?
I mean, scientifically, they would have the same, without any mutations, that father and son would have the same Y profile.
Okay.
But in autosomal testing, they would not.
So could y'all tell if it was saliva or sperm? Because I'm pretty sure that Jarvis' sons is 5 and younger, and they shouldn't be shooting no nut. You know what I mean? So is it a way that you can tell if that profile, even if it is shared between father and son, and if any of that is like, you know what I'm saying, sperm? Because I know his kids ain't doing that. I mean, but they is Jarvis's kids, and this nigga.
And when you were doing your testing on these samples, you had 2 known profiles, correct?
Correct.
You were testing against Jarvis Butts,
Correct.
yes, and NaZiyah Harris.
That's correct.
You weren't testing it against any other males.
No other references were submitted to us for comparisons.
Okay. So a DNA test.
Hey, been
obviously
hey, been
can't tell
pretty.
you when DNA was deposited on an item. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And you can't say how it came to be put there, right?
Correct.
Like it could be there's primary DNA, right? If I cut myself and I get blood on my shirt, that would be a primary transfer, right?
Yes.
If I then touch something and get blood on that, then the blood that's on the, say it's on my paper, the blood that's on the paper then would be a secondary transfer.
Yeah, like from your shirt?
Yes.
Correct.
Or say if I hand my pen to Mr. Riggins here, and then he hands it to somebody else, that would be a third. Is that correct?
It's the transfer of the DNA. So I touch this primary, then you come and touch it, and my DNA's on it, that would be secondary. And tertiary would be, then that DNA moves again. Of course, each time DNA is transferred.
Damn, that shit made me want to wear
lower and
gloves.
lower,
That easy?
generally.
I don't want to be linked to
And
none
so
of
then
y'all.
if Mr. Riggins walks away with my pen and leaves it in another room, and somebody picks up that pen and uses it, in theory, they could be tested and have my DNA on them.
What's
correct?
up, Maya?
Even if we were never in the same room together.
Correct.
Okay. Transfer can occur also even like in a washing machine, right?
Possibly.
So if clothes are washed together, which is kind of illogical, right? You're washing something, but in reality, my clothes and Mr. Riggins' clothes could be washed together, and his DNA could transfer onto my clothes just by virtue of being washed in the same cycle.
Correct.
Oh, hell no. The fuck Ty doing? No, I thought it's going to be transferred after the wash. Because what the fuck we using that for then? The whole point is get the dirt, the germs, the DNA. I don't want it. So you mean to try to tell me that we walking around other niggas' DNA? Even when we got them in the cycle? Oh, no. Yeah, see, ain't nothing what it seems.
Wait up just a second.
Nah. Fuck that mean? Shit, DNA could be piss, shit. I don't want to be linked to none of that.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Trying to transfer nothing.
Just briefly.
You asked some questions about Y-STR testing. Would it be fair to say that that's kind of like
That
a
shit just made me
secondary
feel
test
some
you
way.
would do if nothing comes up in autosomal DNA testing?
Correct. That's when we look at that type of testing, is when we don't get results with autosomal.
And is that because in autosomal testing would be a direct match as opposed to just a match on a Y chromosome?
To a Y profile that is shared. Yeah.
Okay. So in these reports, you had known samples from NaZiyah Harris and known samples from Jarvis Butts.
Correct.
Okay. And they were direct autosomal matches to Jarvis Butts.
But we don't use match.
Yeah.
We would compare them directly. Yes.
They were direct comparisons to Jarvis Butts' DNA.
Correct.
Okay. And so I believe, as you said, he would share Y DNA with his biologically related male children.
Correct.
But his X DNA would not be the same as his biologically related male children.
No, we get half our DNA from our mom, half our DNA from our father. So that's what makes up your DNA profile.
So if he has a male son, their DNA would not compare, it would only be compared comparatively to the Y chromosomes, not the X chromosome.
Yes. So father and son, they would not have the same profile.
Okay.
But they would have the same Y profile, which
Gotcha.
is not the testing that was done in this case.
Okay.
Correct. This was direct autosomal comparison.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And is it fair to say that people shed or produce or leave DNA at different rates?
Yes, everyone is different, how much DNA you leave behind when you touch something. Things like blood, semen, saliva, we would expect there to be more DNA present in those types of samples versus just touching something in skin cells.
And given that people can shed DNA at a different
Patty
rate,
cake.
kind of
What's
the
up,
right way
boo?
of wording it, you can't say whether or not something was a primary transfer or a secondary transfer based on the amount of DNA present.
No, I can't say at all how it got there, or even if it's a body fluid. I mean, I don't do any body fluid testing, so I can only say what the DNA is and not where it came from or the type of possible fluids.
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The only thing that I really took away from this video is the fact of the matter was when we wash clothes together, you know what I mean? The DNA actually, the tide is not killing it. So, because there was nothing that I heard really to make me say, okay, he did something. It just shows me that he was around her, which we know that part. You know what I'm saying? Because what the fuck? I don't know. I'm disturbed by that. So what the water doing? And I be putting extra in mine thinking that's killing shit. So it's really not doing nothing? Yo, that just got me disturbed as all hell. I'm not even gonna hold you. I want to know how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Tomorrow we're gonna definitely get into the rest of the stuff. The Border Patrol, who was the one who said that he pulled the actual clothing from NaZiyah out of the shrub. There's been a real big problem to me with the way that Detroit Police Department conducted their investigation. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest with you. It just seemed like numerous mistakes after numerous mistakes. And it's just so many people, you know what I'm saying, that I feel like share responsibility to this baby. And it's annoying as all hell because I don't get it. There's just nowhere in the world that anybody should have been privy to the crime scene after people collected evidence. I have never heard of that. This is very fucking disturbing to me. I'm being honest with you. Make sure tomorrow that you guys tap in and join in. I'm here 2 to 6. Now YouTube, I've been coming on YouTube just because I don't know. I just been coming on because I don't know. But usually I don't come on and do reactions, especially when it comes down to this, is because YouTube have a very big censorship. Straight up. I can't do nothing. I can't play no music. I can't vibe. It be quiet. And I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. But make sure that you join my Twitch. Tap in with Toot. You feel what I mean? Listen, you guys, don't get overwhelmed. It's just another app like Instagram and Snapchat and things like that. But it allows you to connect with me on a more personal account. Some days we come on here and we just might have an unwind session where I'm spinning some dope ass music that y'all don't know nothing about. We have our wine, we roll up, we just chill. Sometimes we we gotta unwind from the day. So my Twitch allows us to do a lot of things. Also, we're gearing up. We're gearing up to have a 31-day Twitch-a-thon. I'm going to be on here every day. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be doing some fantabulous shit. It won't just be videos and reactions like that. We're going to be outside. We're going to be having a good-ass time. And I want you guys to join me. You know what I'm saying? I know we cover topics of significance. So I try to provide a balance to a lot of my supporters, you know what I mean, by making sure that we're not stuffy all the time. Because trust me, I know some of the things that we watch and I react to is not the greatest things in the world, but we need to know. Because we still got to protect these babies. But I love my Twitch because it allows me times to give back to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We have games. We have giveaways. We just have a good-ass time. So make sure you follow my Twitch. Tap in with Toot. I'm there Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, okay? That's the schedule. So meet me there. I try to get as many videos I can into that allotted time. Now, also, follow me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. on my Twitch as well, but I also stream it to YouTube, and that's the Breakfast and Bud. Join the morning show. It's fun as hell. You know what I'm saying? We have some amazing topics. You know what I'm saying? We have people to come on, and we just have fun, and we laugh, and some of y'all, they ain't got no sense. Some of y'all that call in, boy, I tell you, boy, I love y'all with all my heart. Make sure you tap in. Everything that we reacted to today, if you came in and you missed, it will be on my TOOTIE Uncensored channel. Now listen, some of y'all right now is in the middle of the live. And guess what? You just got here, which means you missed a lot of shit. But by the time you think you finna get into it, it's gonna go private. It is. Because I have to block you. I have to block YouTube. So that's why you see me re-upload them on my channel. So if you missed it, trust and believe they will be up in a little bit, probably like 10 minutes. Some of the things that we already covered is already up. So you won't be missing anything. Just refresh. That's all you gotta do. If you in Atlanta or you down south, y'all stay safe. It's raining bad as hell. Tuck and roll. You did get you some snacks and shit. Get a good movie. Tuck in before the Wi-Fi go out. You dig? I love y'all with all my heart. I really do. Last but not least, please, please, please support Blue Cheese. You feel what I mean? Let's get him to 10K subscribers. Let's also get Black Diamonds, the video, to 10K. There's no reason in the world why Black Diamonds, the video, should not be at 10K. Shame on all of y'all folks. You feel me? Y'all share everything else but the real shit. I had a ball with you today, family. I love y'all with all my heart. I hope to see a lot of you guys tomorrow. Thank you to everybody who subbed to me today, man. We're 23 away from 1K. Shout out to everybody who subbed. We gonna hit that bit tomorrow. We gonna put it out there. Let's manifest. I love y'all with my whole heart. I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow, family. I'm gonna talk to y'all. Hey, listen. Make sure you share it. All right, dang, man. Peace out, y'all.